The Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly, its surface glittering under the golden rays of the sun. Dr. Elena Carter stood on the deck of the Oceanus, gazing at the horizon with a mixture of awe and concern. A marine biologist with over a decade of experience, she had dedicated her life to understanding and protecting the ocean's delicate ecosystems. Today, however, was not a day for research. It was a day for action. Earlier that morning, a fisherman had rushed onto the dock where Elena's vessel was stationed, his face pale with worry. "There's a shark caught in a net near Coral Point," he had said, his voice trembling. "It's huge, and it doesn't look like it'll make it if someone doesn't help." Elena's heart sank. She had seen the devastating effects of ghost nets, abandoned fishing gear that drifted through the ocean, ensnaring and killing marine life. She had vowed to do whatever she could to mitigate the harm, but every new case felt like a battle against an overwhelming tide. "Let's get moving," she told her team. The Oceanus crew was small but dedicated. Jake Sullivan, a veteran diver with nerves of steel, was the first to respond. "I've seen what those nets can do. We'll need every tool we've got," he said, already checking his gear. Priya Mehta, the team's oceanographer and tech expert, chimed in. "I'll get the drones ready. If the shark's in distress, we need to understand its movements before we dive in." Together, they loaded the vessel with cutting tools, first aid kits for marine life, and high-resolution underwater cameras. As the boat powered toward Coral Point, Elena briefed the team on the plan. "We need to work quickly and carefully," she said. "Sharks are resilient, but this one's likely exhausted and in pain. We can't afford to stress it further." As they neared the reported location, the team spotted the shark. Even from a distance, its size was staggering, nearly 15 feet long, with a sleek, muscular body marred by deep cuts where the net had bitten into its flesh. It was barely moving, its struggles having slowed to a desperate, rhythmic twitch. "Poor thing," Priya murmured, monitoring the shark through the drone's live feed. "It's completely tangled. The nets around its tail, fins, and even its gills. This is going to be tricky." Jake nodded. "If we cut the wrong strand first, the tension might cause the net to tighten further. We'll have to think this through." Elena took a deep breath. "We've got this. Priya, keep an eye on its behavior. Jake and I will handle the cutting." The water was colder than Elena expected, as she and Jake descended into the depths. Visibility was good, but the shark's immense form cast a shadow that seemed to amplify the tension in the water. Elena's heart pounded as she approached. The shark's eye caught hers, a dark, glassy orb that seemed to hold both fear and a primal will to survive. "Easy, big guy," she murmured, knowing the words were more for her own comfort than the shark's. Jake began working on the net near the tail, while Elena tackled the section around the gills. The net was a tangle of nylon and plastic, knotted so tightly it seemed almost fused to the shark's body. Midway through the operation, the shark jerked suddenly, its powerful tail sweeping through the water like a battering ram. Jake was thrown backward, narrowly avoiding a collision with a jagged rock. "You okay?" Elena asked through the communicator. "Yeah," Jake replied, catching his breath. "Just a reminder of who's boss down here." Priya's voice crackled in. "Careful, guys. The shark's stress levels are spiking. Try to minimize contact." The team adjusted their approach, working in shorter bursts and giving the shark time to settle between cuts. Slowly, the net began to loosen. After what felt like hours, Elena made the final cut near the gills. The net floated away in a ghostly cloud of debris, revealing the shark's battered but unbound body. For a moment, the shark remained still, as if unsure of its newfound freedom. Then, with a powerful flick of its tail, it surged forward, circling the divers once before disappearing into the blue. Back on the Oceanus, the team watched the drone footage in awe. "Did it?" Just thank us? Priya asked, her voice tinged with wonder. Elena smiled. Maybe, or maybe it was just getting its bearings. Either way, we did what we came here to do. The story didn't end there. Elena knew that saving one shark wouldn't change the fact that thousands more were suffering because of human negligence. She used the footage of the rescue to launch a campaign against ghost nets, partnering with environmental organizations to raise awareness and push for stricter regulations on fishing practices. The video of the rescue went viral, drawing millions of views and sparking conversations around the world. Messages poured in, some from children pledging to reduce plastic waste, others from policymakers inspired to take action.